Hello, folks. So I was just this past few days with the arrest in the United Kingdom of our former Deputy Senate President, Mr. Ekweremadu. I was just thinking about himself and his wife about the supposed organ harvesting of a 15-year-old. I was just thinking about his issue. I mean, this is a gentleman who's a lawyer. There's a PhD attached to his name. I don't know whether it's a honorary one or it's an earned PhD. He was former number four. He's been in the Senate representing his area, his state, for about the past 23 years now. And these were people who have been very powerful. And now it's turning out that this boy may also be scamming Mr. Ekweremadu, who is now being remanded, himself and his wife, in jail, pending the next appearance in court. So it seems those who have been scamming our nation by not providing the necessary healthcare infrastructure in place for 200 million Nigerians are now themselves being scammed by those they thought were simpletons. It's a very sad situation. Unfortunately, it's not just the Ekweremadus and this young man who are the victims here. Nigerians are still being scammed, and these things have implications for the future of the country. We're on the march again towards another election, presidential, legislative, state, even the local elections. And we must begin to think of these things beyond party affiliation, religious affiliation, ethnic affiliations, as we go to the polls again, because otherwise it's only those who are crazy who will keep repeating the same things and keep hoping that there will be a change. Nigeria is 62 years old. The news has it that we spend about $2 to $3 billion every year. Unfortunately, those are for the rich people. In health tourism, that just means that rich Nigerians or privileged Nigerians take $2 to $3 billion out of Nigeria every year, to Turkey, to United Kingdom, to United States, to South Africa, to Canada, to Germany, for medical treatment. Unfortunately, the state of our own healthcare facilities is in a terrible shape. Now, I do come home to, for medical mission or to give talks or teach or something every now and then. And I know that our healthcare facilities are just not at par. And I'm not even talking about places that are remote. Even in the places that are close to the corridors of power. Just 2 years ago, I was in Abuja. I was in a hospital right in the heart of Abuja. And it's in a very sorry state. I'm going to avoid mentioning names. We know that unemployment is very high in Nigeria. I think it's at the range of about 35%. The young people are graduating from schools, from universities and polytechnics. They don't have work. A working population is a healthy population. Life expectancy in Nigeria right now is about 53 years old. And those are not my figures. Those are things that we know. And what's the remedy? Are we going to keep voting in the same people, clueless people? We keep getting poorer as a nation. We keep getting unhealthy. Life expectancy is 53. And is it the Ekweremadus? Because if Nigeria was where it's supposed to be, he will not be seeking health care for the failing kidney of his daughter in the United Kingdom or Turkey. Nigeria should have a kidney transplant program that the daughter should be able to go to and not need to facilitate a 15-year-old or a 21-year-old, whatever the case may be in this part, for organ transplants abroad. This is a sad story, and it shouldn't be happening. And we shouldn't be taking hard-earned dollars that we should spend on industry to create jobs for young people, to build our own industry, to build our road network, to build our power generating plants, and go and give it to countries elsewhere. In fact, we should be using those monies, to build our own hospitals also so that other people can come because we do have the skills. And Nigerian physicians and Nigerian nurses and Nigerian pharmacists can come back home, to help, try skill transfer and also so that others can bring those monies. I know Nigerians, abroad are coming home, to do um, breast augmentation and liposuction and even IVF. It's happening right now, and that's some reversal, but it's a very tiny amount of money that is happening. That people are bringing back home, for these things. Now, 2018, there was an enemy conference that happened in Abuja, and I was there. And I'm saying this, with particular reference to the Ekweremadu Saga. And it was our colleagues in Britain who were leading the CME, that year for the Nigerian Medical Association in Abuja. And one of the doctors who was there happened to be, I do remember him, I remember his name, I'm not going to mention it because I haven't taken his permission. He was actually, at that point in time, he probably still is, he was the head of the transplant program of an NHS trust in the United Kingdom. So the people that Ekweremadu is actually going to meet in the UK to help his daughter are probably Nigerians. So Nigerians are leading kidney transplant programs in the UK, in the US, wherever. So these are people who can come back home. Now, I understand there is a Zenith hospital in Nigeria who does kidney transplants, has done about 350. That is easily what one hospital can do. That's what one hospital is doing in a private care. But which government hospital does that in Nigeria? Probably none. I honestly don't know of any. In fact, I do not know of any tertiary hospital in Nigeria that ranks anything close to what our colleagues in South Africa, for instance, are doing. None, zero. I say this to our shame. And it's not because we do not have Nigerians with skills elsewhere, not necessarily Nigeria, elsewhere that can help to do this. It's sad. Now, I happen to have been privileged enough to be part of a program that the immediate past health minister, the professor of obstetrics and gynae from UI, who was the first minister for health under this APC, under the Buhari administration. It was actually a program that was started by Mrs. Abike Dabiri, called another name, but then it was matched with the one that the minister wanted. And for 2 to 3 years, we sat down, we deliberated, we got budgetary approval and all of that stuff, for a skills transfer program. And dates were set for the pilots and all that. And in January, early February 2019, tickets were bought. There was a lot of enthusiasm by doctors of Nigerian origin in diaspora to come to Nigeria and start this beautiful work that we had planned. We took 2 to 3 years. This was a program whose idea originated from the Ministry of Health in Nigeria and the minister himself. And the Nigerian doctors in diaspora bought into it, planned for it. The Ministry of Health helped us to do all the budgeting. We met all over the place. We met in Abuja, we met in Nottinghamshire in the UK, we met in Calgary in Canada, we met in Washington, DC. We met virtually, via Zoom. Sorry, not Zoom. We met on, it wasn't Zoom then. Zoom wasn't popular then. I'm talking 2017, 2018, 2019. What's this other program? I forget now. Anyway, we met and things were floating well, and dates were agreed. The only problem was 2019 there was election, and when Buhari reconstituted his ministers, the Professor Adewale was left out, and they brought in a new minister. This new minister sort of played along for the first 6 months, and he kept changing things. Anyway, 1 week to go, tickets were bought, all was set. He just canceled the whole thing. And he said he was planning to reconstitute. Took about a year and then nothing. And then he's decided to restart the whole thing. And of course, it's not getting any traction. Of course, those who were part of this initially are no longer interested. This is what we do in Nigeria. This is what we do. Frustrate people. All the meetings we had, the government didn't pay us a dime. We did this on our own time, on our own money. But that's the story for another day. Where am I going with all this? Nigeria is not hopeless. We have the skills. If we can spend a fraction of what the government is spending on privileged people, on what scammers, and I'm talking about our politicians, the political class, because they've scammed for 62 years now, they've scammed us. And I think it was Awolowo who said something, a brother reminded me this afternoon that, the children of the poor that you refuse to train are going to terrorize your children that you've trained. That's what is happening now. So Mr. Ekweremadu took this boy to England to donate. The boy got to England, and it looks like what he has done now is he has now scammed Mr. Ekweremadu. Look at the state of insecurity in Nigeria. These are the people in Nigeria that we have refused to train, we've refused to educate, we've refused to give jobs to when they finished. Now they're taking up arms and they are harming the rest of us. Look at the state of our schools, the state of our hospitals, the state of our road. We're still generating about 5,000 megawatts. 5,000 megawatts cannot power a suburb of Lagos, let alone the whole of Nigeria for 200 million people. We have 200 psychiatrists for 200 million people. That should not even be enough for Lagos State, let alone the whole of Nigeria. And I can go on and on and on. Where am I going with this? Are we going to give government back to the same old people, the Atikus, who's been running to become president since 1992, the time of MKO Abiola? You think he has fresh ideas to dispense? Are we going to give it to the Lagos man who wants to employ 50 million youths to do what? Into the army. To do what? So that they can eat cassava and agbado, corn. And that's what he said. The videos are out there. He says he will employ 50 million youth. There are 200 million people. He will employ 1/4 of the population into the army. Right now, the whole of our army is not even up to 500,000. And he's going to employ 100 times the current population into the army. To do what? We don't even have the money to pay their salaries. These are people with fossilized ideas. I urge you, let's try something new. Our healthcare is dead. We need to resuscitate it. Our education sector is dead. The industrial sector is dead. Dead. It's time to sweep away this old political class. Time to go. They've rewarded themselves handsomely. They've stolen, our common patrimony. It's time for them to all go. Let's rebuild Nigeria for the future of Nigerians. They've looted us dry. It's time to look elsewhere. The oil is not going to keep serving us. In fact, it's not enough. Thank you. And may God bless Nigeria.